Most people have no idea how exposed they are right now. I'm not talking about some hypothetical future scenario. I'm talking about right now, this moment. As you're watching this video, there are data brokers, advertising companies, and yes, foreign intelligence services that know more about you than your own family does. They know where you sleep. They know where you work. They know what time you leave your house in the morning and what time you come home at night. They know your medical conditions. They know your financial situation. They know who you call, who you text, who you email, and how often. And the worst part? You gave them all of that information voluntarily. You handed it over, willingly, every single day, without even thinking about it. I spent over 14 years working in intelligence. I can't tell you exactly what I did or where I was stationed. What I can tell you is that during my time at the agency, one of the very first things they drilled into us, before weapons training, before tradecraft, before any of the operational stuff, was digital hygiene. They sat us down in a windowless room at Langley, and a guy who looked like he hadn't slept in 3 days pulled up a screen and said, "Everything you do online leaves a trail. Every click, every search, every purchase, every message, and that trail will get you killed." Now he was talking about field operatives, people working under non-official cover in hostile countries. But here's what I realized after I left the agency. That same lesson applies to every single person watching this video. Because you don't have to be a spy to be a target. You just have to be a person with a phone, an email address, and a credit card. That's all it takes. Now let me be clear about something before we go any further. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this because I believe knowledge is the only real protection you have. The government isn't going to protect your data. The tech companies sure as hell aren't going to protect your data. They're the ones selling it. So it's on you. It's on me. It's on all of us. And today I'm going to walk you through exactly 5 things you can do, starting today, to erase your digital footprint. Not reduce it, not minimize it, erase it. The same principles we used in the intelligence community, adapted for civilian life. These aren't theoretical. These aren't things I read about in some tech magazine. These are things I've personally done. Things I still do. Things that have kept me and my family off the grid for years. Let's start with number 1. Number 1. Remove yourself from data broker sites. This is the single most important thing you can do, and it's the one that almost nobody knows about. Right now, as we speak, there are hundreds of companies called data brokers, whose entire business model is collecting your personal information and selling it to anyone who wants to buy it. I'm talking about your full name, your home address, your phone number, your email, your age, your relatives' names, your estimated income, your political affiliation, your property records, your court records, all of it. Bundled up in a nice little package and sold for pennies. Sometimes literally pennies. Your entire identity, everything that makes you you, sold for less than a cup of coffee. The big ones are Spokeo, White Pages, Been Verified, Intellius, People Finder, MyLife, and Redaris. But there are literally hundreds more. Some estimates put the number at over 4,000 data broker companies operating in the United States alone. 4,000 companies that have your information and are actively selling it. Now here's what most people don't know. You can opt out. Every single one of these companies is legally required to remove your information if you request it. They don't advertise this. They bury the opt-out pages deep in their websites. They make the process as confusing and tedious as possible. Some of them require you to create an account just to request removal, which feels like giving a burglar your house key so he can return your stolen TV. But you can do it. Here's how. Go to each of these sites one by one. Search for your name. When you find your profile, look for the opt-out or remove my information link. It's usually buried in the footer of the website or hidden in the privacy policy page. Follow their removal process. Some require an email confirmation. Some require you to upload a photo of your ID, which I don't recommend. If they ask for your ID, send them a written request instead and cite your state's privacy laws. California residents have the CCPA. Other states are catching up. Use whatever legal leverage you have. Now this process takes time. You're not going to do this in an afternoon. It could take weeks to get through all the major brokers. And here's the frustrating part. Some of them will relist you after 6 months or a year. So this isn't a one-time thing. You have to go back and check periodically. I check mine every 90 days. I put it on my calendar. 90 days, check the brokers. Submit new removal requests if needed. Is it annoying? Yes. Is it worth it? Absolutely. Because every one of those profiles is a door. And every door you close is one less way someone can find you. During my time at the agency, we had entire teams whose job was to scrub the online presence of operatives before they went into the field. They would spend weeks going through every database, every public record, every social media trace, making sure that person was a ghost. You don't have a team. You have yourself. But the process is the same. Find the doors. Close them. Check again later. I'll tell you a story. A friend of mine retired, not agency, but military intelligence. Good guy. Smart guy. He thought he was careful. He didn't post on social media. Didn't use his real name on forums. Thought he was invisible. One day his daughter calls him, panicked. Someone she'd never met had sent her a message online. The message contained her father's home address, his phone number, his wife's name, his car registration, and the name of the pharmacy where he picks up his prescriptions. All of it pulled from data broker sites. Took the guy about 4 minutes to find everything. 4 minutes. My friend spent the next 2 weeks scrubbing himself from every broker he could find. He told me afterward, "I felt like I'd been walking around with my front door wide open for 20 years and didn't even know it." That's what it's like for most people. Your door is wide open. You just don't know it yet. Number 2, kill your social media. And I mean actually kill it. I know this is the one nobody wants to hear. I know. Social media is how you stay connected with your grandkids. It's how you see what your old army buddies are up to. It's how you get your news. I understand all of that. And I'm telling you, it's the single biggest vulnerability in your life right now. Let me explain what happens when you use social media. Every time you log in, the platform records your IP address. That gives them your approximate location. Every time you scroll, they track what you look at and for how long. Every time you like something, comment on something, share something, they add that to your profile. Every photo you upload contains metadata, the date it was taken, the device it was taken on, and often the exact GPS coordinates of where you were standing when you took it. Every friend you accept, every group you join, every page you follow, all of that builds a map. A map of who you are, what you believe, who you know, where you go, and what you care about. Now multiply that by 10 years of daily use. That's not a profile anymore. That's a dossier. That's the kind of intelligence file we used to build on targets. And you built it on yourself, for free, and handed it to a corporation that will sell it to anyone with a checkbook. Here's what I did. I deleted every social media account I had. Not deactivated, deleted. There's a difference. When you deactivate, your data is still there. The company keeps it. They're just hiding it from view. When you delete, you're requesting actual removal. Now, even deletion isn't perfect. These companies keep backups. They keep archived data. They keep metadata. But deletion is the best option available to you as a civilian. Before you delete, download your data first. Every major platform lets you download a copy of everything you've ever posted. Do that. Save it to an external hard drive, not to the cloud, to a physical drive that you keep in your home. Then delete the accounts. Now I know some of you are thinking, but I need Facebook to stay in touch with my family. No, you don't. You have a phone, you have email, you have your front door. People stayed in touch for thousands of years before Mark Zuckerberg was born. You'll be fine. But let's say you absolutely cannot bring yourself to delete everything. Fine. Here's the minimum you should do. Go into your privacy settings on every platform. Set everything to private. Remove your phone number. Remove your email address. Remove your location. Remove your birthday. Remove your workplace. Remove your relationship status. Turn off location services. Turn off facial recognition. Turn off the ability for search engines to find your profile. Untag yourself from every photo you didn't post. Leave every group you don't actively participate in. Unfriend anyone you don't personally know and trust. And stop posting. I mean it. Stop telling the internet where you are, what you're eating, who you're with, and what you think about politics. Every one of those posts is ammunition. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow. But someday, someone will use that information in a way you didn't intend. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen to smart people, people who should have known better. The only winning move is to stop playing the game. In the intelligence world, we had a saying, the best cover story is no story at all. The less information that exists about you, the harder you are to find, to target, to manipulate. That applies online just as much as it applies in the field. Number 3. Switch to encrypted everything. This one is technical, but I'm going to make it simple. Right now, most of the ways you communicate are not secure. Your regular phone calls, your text messages, your emails, all of that can be intercepted, recorded, and read by third parties. Your internet service provider can see every website you visit. Your phone carrier can see every text you send. And if the government wants access to any of it, all they need is a warrant. Sometimes they don't even need that. Here's what you need to do. First, switch your messaging to an encrypted app. Signal is the gold standard. It's free, it's open source. It uses end-to-end encryption, which means that only you and the person you're communicating with can read the messages. Not the company that makes the app, not your phone carrier, not the government. Nobody. The CIA uses Signal internally for certain communications. That should tell you everything you need to know about how secure it is. Stop using regular text messages. Stop using Facebook Messenger. Stop using WhatsApp if you can help it. Although WhatsApp does use encryption, it's owned by Meta, and I don't trust Meta with anything. Signal is the answer. Download it. Get your family to download it. Get your friends to download it. Use it for everything. Second, switch to an encrypted email provider. ProtonMail is the best option for most people. It's based in Switzerland, which has some of the strongest privacy laws in the world. Your emails are encrypted end-to-end. ProtonMail cannot read your emails even if they wanted to. Even if a government demanded access, ProtonMail physically cannot comply because they don't have the keys to decrypt your messages. You do. Only you. Now, encrypted email only works fully when both the sender and receiver are using ProtonMail or another encrypted provider. If you send an encrypted email to someone's Gmail account, it loses some of that protection on their end. So ideally, you want the people you communicate with most to also be on ProtonMail. But even if they're not, your emails are still more secure than they would be on Gmail or Yahoo or any of the free providers, because at minimum, ProtonMail protects the data on their servers. Third, use a VPN. A virtual private network encrypts your internet connection and routes it through a server in another location. This means your internet service provider cannot see what websites you're visiting. It means the websites you visit cannot see your real IP address. It means anyone monitoring your network, whether that's a hacker at a coffee shop or a government surveillance program, cannot easily see what you're doing online. I use a VPN every single day. Every device I own runs through a VPN at all times. When I'm at home, when I'm traveling, always. The one I recommend for most people is either ExpressVPN or ProtonVPN. ProtonVPN is made by the same company that makes ProtonMail, and they have a strict no-logs policy, meaning they don't record what you do. That's critical. Some VPN providers claim to protect your privacy, but then keep logs of your activity and hand them over to law enforcement when asked. You want a provider that keeps no logs at all. Fourth, switch your web browser. Stop using Google Chrome. Chrome is built by Google. Google's entire business model is tracking you. Every search you make, every website you visit, every link you click, all of it feeds Google's advertising machine. Switch to Brave or Firefox with the right privacy extensions. Brave blocks trackers and ads by default. Firefox with extensions like uBlock Origin and Privacy Badger does the same thing. And stop using Google as your search engine. Switch to DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo doesn't track your searches. It doesn't build a profile on you. It doesn't store your search history. You type something in, you get results, and that's it. No tracking, no profiling, no data collection. I know this sounds like a lot. New messaging app, new email, new browser, new search engine, VPN on everything. But here's the thing. Each one of these changes takes about 15 minutes to set up. An hour total, and your entire digital life is encrypted. An hour. That's it. And the protection you gain is enormous. You go from being completely exposed to being nearly invisible. That's an hour well spent. At the agency, encryption wasn't optional. It was survival. If your communications were compromised, people died. The stakes aren't that high for you, probably. But the principle is the same. If someone can read your messages, they can control you. If they can track your movements, they can find you. If they can access your email, they can steal everything you have. Encryption takes all of that off the table. Number 4, pay with cash whenever possible. This is the oldest trick in the book, and it still works better than anything digital. Every time you use a credit card, a debit card, or a digital payment app, you create a record. That record contains the date, the time, the location, the amount, and the vendor. String enough of those records together, and you have a complete map of a person's life: where they shop, where they eat, where they get gas, what medications they take, what hotels they stay at, what time they do all of it. Credit card companies sell this data. They package it up and sell it to marketing firms, data brokers, and analytics companies. Your bank sells it too. Read the fine print of your bank's privacy policy. Somewhere in there, buried under pages of legal jargon, it says they reserve the right to share your transaction data with third-party partners. That's a nice way of saying they sell it. Cash leaves no trail. When you pay with cash, there is no electronic record, no timestamp in a database, no entry in a server log, no receipt tied to your identity. You hand over the money, you get the goods, and you walk away. Nobody knows you were there. Nobody can prove you were there. The transaction exists only in the memory of the person who took your money, and memories fade. Now, I'm not saying you should go completely cashless. That's not practical in the modern world. You need a credit card for certain things: airline tickets, hotel reservations, online purchases. I understand that. But for your day-to-day life, use cash as much as possible. Groceries, gas, restaurants, hardware store, pharmacy. Anything you buy locally and in person, pay cash. Here's a trick I learned. Every week, I go to the ATM once and withdraw a set amount of cash. That's my spending money for the week. One ATM transaction per week instead of 30 or 40 card swipes. One data point instead of dozens. And once that cash is in my hands, every purchase I make with it is invisible. There's another benefit to cash that people don't think about. It makes you spend less. When you hand over physical bills, you feel the money leaving. It's psychological. You're more aware of what you're spending. With a card, it's abstract. You tap it, and the numbers change somewhere in a computer, and you don't feel anything. With cash, you feel it, and that makes you more careful. I'll tell you something else. In certain intelligence operations, cash is the only acceptable form of payment. When you're running an asset in a foreign country, you don't pay them with a wire transfer. You don't send them a Venmo. You pay them in cash. Unmarked bills, no serial number records, no transaction trail. Because a trail gets people caught. A trail gets people killed. Now, your situation is obviously different, but the principle is identical. Trails are dangerous. Cash eliminates trails. Some people ask me about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum. Is that a good alternative? My answer is no, not for privacy. Most cryptocurrencies are not actually anonymous. Bitcoin transactions are recorded on a public blockchain. Anyone can see them. And there are now entire companies and government agencies whose job is to trace cryptocurrency transactions back to real identities. The IRS does it. The FBI does it. Foreign intelligence agencies do it. Cryptocurrency is actually less private than cash in many ways. The only exception might be certain privacy-focused coins like Monero, but even those are under increasing scrutiny. Cash is still king. It's been king for thousands of years. There's a reason for that. Number 5. Audit your phone. It's the biggest spy in your house. Your phone knows more about you than your spouse does. That's not an exaggeration, that's a fact. Your phone knows everywhere you've been, every search you've run, every photo you've taken, every conversation you've had, every app you've opened, and for how long. Your fingerprint or your face, your health data, your financial data, your contacts, your calendar, your notes. It's the most sophisticated surveillance device ever created, and you carry it in your pocket voluntarily and pay $1,000 for the privilege. Here's what you need to do. Go through your phone settings right now. I mean today, not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Start with location services. Go into your settings and look at which apps have access to your location. You're going to be shocked. Apps that have no business knowing where you are. Your calculator, your flashlight, your weather app, your games. Many of them have been silently tracking your location in the background. Turn off location access for every app that doesn't absolutely need it. Maps needs your location. Your rideshare app needs your location. Almost nothing else does. Then go to your location history. Both Apple and Google keep a detailed history of everywhere your phone has been. On an iPhone, it's called Significant Locations. Buried under Settings, Privacy, Location Services, System Services, Significant Locations. Find it and turn it off. Then clear the history. On Android, it's called Timeline in Google Maps. Turn it off. Delete the history. Next, go through your apps. Every app on your phone is a potential leak. Every app has permissions. Look at what permissions each app has. Camera access, microphone access, contact access, photo library access. Most apps request far more permissions than they need. A restaurant app doesn't need access to your microphone. A shopping app doesn't need access to your camera. A news app doesn't need access to your contacts. Revoke every permission that isn't essential to the app's core function. Then delete every app you haven't used in the last 30 days. Every unused app is still collecting data in the background, still phoning home to its servers, still tracking you. If you haven't used it in a month, you don't need it. Delete it. If you need it later, you can always re-download it. But get it off your phone now. Check your browser. Clear your browsing history, your cookies, and your cached data. Better yet, switch to a privacy-focused browser on your phone too. Brave works on mobile. Firefox Focus is another good option, and set your default search engine to DuckDuckGo on your phone just like your computer. Turn off Wi-Fi when you're not using it. When your phone's Wi-Fi is on, it constantly broadcasts a signal looking for networks to connect to. That signal contains your phone's unique MAC address. Companies install Wi-Fi trackers in shopping malls, airports, retail stores, and public spaces that pick up these signals and use them to track your movements. You walk through a mall, and they know which stores you stopped at, how long you browsed, and which direction you went. Turn Wi-Fi off when you leave your house. Turn it back on when you get home. Simple habit. Massive privacy improvement. Same with Bluetooth. Turn it off when you're not actively using it. Bluetooth beacons work the same way as Wi-Fi trackers. They're everywhere. Retail stores, transit systems, stadiums, airports, all tracking your movement through Bluetooth signals your phone is broadcasting without your knowledge. And here's the big one that nobody talks about. Your phone's advertising ID. Both iPhones and Androids assign your device a unique identifier that advertisers use to track you across apps and websites. On an iPhone, go to Settings, Privacy, Tracking, and turn off Allow Apps to Request to Track. On Android, go to Settings, Privacy, Ads, and delete your advertising ID. This doesn't stop all tracking, but it makes it significantly harder for companies to build a unified profile of your behavior across different apps and services. I'll tell you what we used to say at the agency. The most dangerous device in any room is the one you don't think of as a device. 20 years ago, that was a landline phone that could be tapped. 10 years ago, it was a laptop with a webcam that could be activated remotely. Today, it's the smartphone in your pocket. It sees everything. It hears everything. It records everything. And it sends all of that data to servers you'll never see, owned by companies you'll never meet, stored in databases you'll never access. Your phone is not your friend. It's the most efficient spy ever built. Treat it accordingly. Closing. Let me pull this all together. 5 things. Remove yourself from data broker sites. Kill or lock down your social media. Switch to encrypted communication tools. Use cache whenever possible. And audit your phone like your privacy depends on it, because it does. None of this is complicated. None of it requires a technical background. None of it costs much money, if any. What it requires is a decision that your privacy matters, a decision that your personal information belongs to you and not to some corporation in Silicon Valley, a decision that you're going to stop being the product and start being the person who controls their own life. When I left the agency, the last thing my handler said to me was, "You're a civilian now, but you'll never think like one again." He was right. I still check my surroundings when I walk into a room. I still sit with my back to the wall. And I still treat my digital presence like it's a matter of operational security. Because in this world, it is. Maybe not life and death, but certainly life and freedom. Your data is your freedom. Once someone else has it, they have leverage over you. They can manipulate you. They can impersonate you. They can steal from you. They can find you. Take that power back. Start today. Start with number 1. Go to Spokeo and search your name. See what comes up. That'll wake you up faster than anything I could say in this video. I'm going to keep sharing what I know. Everything I learned in 14 years of intelligence work, adapted for people like you. People who just want to live their lives without the entire world watching. If that sounds like something you need, subscribe to this channel. Hit the bell so you don't miss anything. And if you found this useful, send it to someone you care about, someone who needs to hear this. Because the people who need this information the most are usually the ones who don't even know they need it. Stay safe, stay smart, and stay invisible. I'll see you in the next one.